The silver price, which is currently at $45 per ounce, is going up, and there's no indication that it's going down. This may well be the first step. Throughout our exploration in this video, I will explain why. While worries about the economy are usually at the root of a sharp spike in silver prices like this one, it is not the only factor at play today. Just a second though, before I do that, I should probably bring up Summit Metals, our channel sponsor. You should visit their website if you are involved in the purchase or sale of precious metals. Their excellent customer service is something you should try. Visit summitmetals.com to learn more about this fantastic business and the wonderful people who work there. Here I will discuss another metal for a second, but first I will reference a couple reports regarding the price movement of gold and silver today. I hope you'll subscribe to my videos on platinum so I can continue to discuss this in future videos. A number of my videos have focused on platinum. Actually, I've accomplished quite a bit throughout the duration of this channel. Since this is not the Salivate Gold or Salivate Silver channel, it is referred to as the Salivate Metal channel. I have a strong preference for platinum and have been an avid supporter of the precious metal for quite some time. Even if I could have been completely incorrect about platinum, I'm not going to use this opportunity to claim that I was correct. However, it has performed admirably today. Its gain today exceeds 4.2%. Actually, it has increased by over 4.3%, or $63 to $1,541. That's a significant improvement today. I'm going to leave it at that. Why? Because it outperforms all other precious metals. Even palladium has been successful. Even though platinum is at $1,541, it's up $40 today. The price of gold has risen today, but only somewhat, by $13.90 to $3,750.40. That equates to a rise of 0.35%. Is it possible that we have reached a gold plateau? I am uncertain, not in my opinion. As a gold rallier, I can't help but wonder if this is simply a temporary setback and that prices will soon be climbing again. Even yet, silver is up over 3% on the day. It actually rose by more than 3% early in the day. Current price is $45.25. Twice earlier today, it did reach a high of more than $45. Current price is $45.25. In overnight trading, the price dropped to as low as $45.27, but it has since recovered and is now trading at a late level just before the markets close. At 83.08, the gold to silver ratio is presently quite narrow. Well done. It's encouraging to see silver making a comeback, and there are strong reasons for it. I am merely citing an article from mining.com at this point. For the first time since 2011, prices have risen beyond $45 per ounce. Concerns about the future of the US economy boosted sentiment and share markets on Thursday. So that's an issue, but I believe something bigger is going on. We will discuss this further in the next section. The result was a loss of more than $45. In fact, it dipped to $44.50 before regaining its previous height. This brings silver's gains for the year to date to more than 55%, which is more than its most expensive sibling metal, gold, which has also achieved new highs this year. A declining dollar, persistent purchase by central banks, and increasing geopolitical tensions are the positive forces. According to Citigroup, the global gold ETF has seen record inflows of $10.5 billion so far in September, with inflows for the year surpassing $50 billion. This rise in demand for gold ETFs is a reflection of the increasing desire for safe haven assets. The bank's analysts have concluded that exchange-traded funds, ETFs, have been the most significant driver of the gold surge thus far this year, surpassing all other demand sectors for the precious metal. However, I also believe that the ongoing accumulation of gold by central banks is a major factor. While exchange-traded funds, ETFs, do influence short-term price fluctuations, the real drivers of long-term price movements are the actual physical possession of gold and silver, which react and follow along, sometimes overreacting or outperforming, as we witness today. That is why it is critical to comprehend the role of gold in this combination. Ever since the Federal Reserve dropped interest rates by 25 basis points last week, precious metals have been riding high on market anticipation of the start of the next round of rate cuts. Asset valuations are too high, which has put pressure on US stock markets. The Federal Reserve's policy trajectory was obscured by Thursday's second quarter GDP statistics, which may have reduced anticipation of additional reductions in light of an unexpected economic boost. The US Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index is scheduled to be released tomorrow, Friday, and traders will be concentrating on that data. The case for rate decreases would be strengthened if the preferred gauge of underlying inflation by the Fed climbed at a slower rate last month. Bullion, including gold and silver, would be supported if the case for Fed rate cuts were to be strengthened, which would result in slower inflation. Keep an eye out for weaker inflation numbers. We should expect a solid Friday, and by the weekend, we might even see $46. Since most of you predicted that we would touch $44, I was surprised that we are currently above $45. We haven't seen these figures since that period in 2011. The factors that bolstered the prices of silver and gold in 2011 are obviously substantially different from what they are today. Furthermore, 1980 was an even more peculiar outlier, as is well known. It seems different this time though. For the most part, I'm bullish on gold because this time is different. And even if the current bull run does eventually end, I don't think it will be as severe as the ones that followed the 1980s and 2011 surges. One reason for this is the fact that we are dealing with sticky inflation, which is here to stay. With a zero inflation rate, far below the Federal Reserve's goal of 2%, it follows that prices will remain high even if inflation were to suddenly halt. Our prices are a bit steep, sure thing. They are also rather tall. However, this is now being covered by Adrian Ash in his reports of the factors that are influencing the prices of silver and platinum. I hope you'll see the other video where I discuss this further. The announcement of new green energy targets by Chinese Premier Xi Jinping sent prices soaring at the start of Thursday's London trade, reaching fresh multi-year highs. China is the world leader in carbon emissions. Yes, I understand. Earlier today, gold had a second session of decline. Nevertheless, this crucial component is evident in China's solar power, photovoltaic energy, and silver markets, and it has already increased for the fifth session, which began the night after Xi's video address to the UN Climate Conference, reaching new records of over 10,350 yuan per kilogram. With Shanghai's markets shutting and London's opening, the world's bullion trading and storage center, the price of silver skyrocketed, rising $1 per ounce in 3 hours to reach $45 for the first time in 14 years. And the same is true with platinum as well. Plus, we'll discuss it. On the other hand, we may observe that Donald Trump has declared globalism and the climate change hoax to be failures at the United Nations General Assembly. The BBC describes President Xi's announcement to reduce China's emissions as a landmark, and he told the United Nations that the green and low carbon transition is the trend of our time, all while Typhoon, Rivera was wreaking havoc on Hong Kong and the southwestern Chinese coast this week, promising a 7.5% reduction in net greenhouse gas emissions by the world's number 2 economy by the year 2035. Xi has stated his goal of increasing the capacity of wind and solar power installations to 3,600 gigawatts, which is 6 times more than the levels reached in 2020. This is equivalent to the current total installed electricity capacity in China. Xi also predicted the widespread adoption of new energy vehicles, which might increase demand for platinum group metals due to the increased PGM loading required by autocats and hybrid electric vehicles. We will discuss that at a later time. The silver market, nevertheless, is something I find quite intriguing, and it's reacting here as a metal that truly does have a lot of uses, including in photovoltaics, the industrial sector, medicine, and catalysts that are resistant to, or perhaps even proof of, recession. In my opinion, that is adding weight to the argument for silver's recent bull run. That, in my opinion, is cause for celebration. Thus, we should expect increasing silver prices in tandem with an improving economy. Even if the economy takes a nosedive or worsens in certain instances, silver prices will likely keep rising. In any case, silver appears to be coming out on top. By the way, if China really follows through on their promises or claims, it would be fantastic. On top of that, the price run of silver could be over. How would it show us where that could lead? Does it cost $55? Is $60 the amount? Upon inflation adjustment, even those figures are insufficient to surpass the all-time high. Still, I believe we can still remove that outlier from 1980. But even with 2011 in the books, we're still talking about how this could eventually lead to silver prices in the triple digits or even close to $70. It may be quite a while before we reach that point, by the way. It is not out of the question to expect silver prices in the triple digits due to inflation. Beyond that, I am unsure. It may be within the next 10-20 years. As we keep an eye on these marketplaces, we are removing all possibilities due to the current pace. If I ever do a video about platinum though, you should definitely pay attention to it, since I plan to provide some fascinating statistics about it. Frankly, I feel like more people should be paying attention to this stuff than they already are. And I've held a bullish stance on it for some time now. Furthermore, I would want to provide you with up-to-date information and analysis regarding precious metals. In that case, I'd be grateful if you'd subscribe to the channel, watch the videos I'll be posting at the bottom of this page, and maybe even hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video to your device. With everything out of the way, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching, and I sincerely hope you'll support my channel by giving it a like, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. This was transcribed using turboscribe.ai. Remove this message by subscribing to Unlimited.